Hey everybody, Ben here from the Bonehead podcast and welcome to Star Player Spotlight. We're looking at all the star players available in Blood Bowl 2020, whether they're from the rulebook, a Spike magazine, or like Kreek Rustgouger here, the Verminator, on the back of the instruction pamphlet. So Kreek isn't available in a rulebook or a Spike magazine just yet. I think we're probably likely to see him in Spike 13, the Corn book. But for now, we've got the rules, so let's have a look and see just what he does. So Kreek Rustgouger is back. We saw him in the last edition and he was an absolute beast for Skaven teams and things like that. Now, he's come with the tags of Favoured Of and Underworld Challenge, which means an absolute ton of teams can run him. So Favoured Of teams, we're looking at Chaos Dwarves, there's a little asterisk there because they're teams of legend, Chaos Renegades, Khorne, the new Khorne team and the old Khorne team, and Nurgle. And Underworld Challenge teams, we've got Goblins, Skaven, Snotlings, and Underworld. So he is a big bruiser. Not going to bury the lead, he is a Strength 7 ball and chain. So Goblins and Snotlings, and to be honest with you, Underworld, who are in the market for some damage and some and they've got a lot of petty cash inducements. This guy comes in at 170, so it could be very useful for those teams. Now, I used him extensively in the last edition to boost up my Skaven team when I was going up against a bash team, and this guy can seriously bash out. And with his special rules, he's even better in this edition. Nurgle, Khorne, Chaos Renegades, Chaos Dwarves, they've all got a lot of strength. They've all got a lot of bash potential already, so potentially not the best star player for those teams. But at 170 for that Strength 7 Mighty Blow Ball and Chain though, deploying him for 1-2 drives with his special power can still equalise on player count. So 170k, even those teams that are heavy on bash, can be a really good inducement. It's just the Favoured Of teams tend to want to take Hack Phlegm more to get that agility advantage because they've got bash covered. These guys here, they've got the agility covered. It's worth it for the bash. Okay, so let's look at Kreek Rustgouger, his stats, and what you get for your money. So comes in at 170,000, so 10k less than Hack Phlegm. So bear that in mind. Right, Kreek, the Verminator Rustgouger, is a cybernetically enhanced Rat Ogre ball and chain hybrid. It's brilliant. It's so thematic. It's gone with a Terminator vibe as well, which is very appropriate given his special power is I'll be back, but we'll come back to that later. Movement 5, Strength 7, Ag 4+, never going to need it. Passing, didn't even bother. Armor 10+, makes him reasonably resilient. However, ball and chain means that none of that matters except the first 2 stats. 5 squares of movement with Strength 7 ball and chain is huge. That is why Kreek Rustgouger has always been such a great bit of beef for a Skaven team. Goblin ball and chains, movement 3, Strength 7. They're ubiquitous. You do not give up a ball and chain. This guy here is twice as fast, basically, okay? You can have 7 attacks with him at Strength 7 with a couple of rushes, okay? Probably not the best thing to do, but even when you're not willing to rush it, 5 opportunities to hit with Strength 7. Kreek is a massive impact on that line. Okay, so Loner 4+ means that if those 2 to 3 die blocks go wrong, you're gonna struggle to save him. Mighty Blow +1, however, means that if he hits a player standing, he's gonna do some damage, and that Mighty Blow just gives you that extra opportunity to keep them down when you knock them down. And because it's ball and chain, he's gonna be following up as well, and that's gonna be a foul every single time, except it's not even a foul, so he can't get sent off for that. He's got secret weapon, he's gonna get sent off at the end of the day anyway, but that's 5 opportunities. That's potentially bang, knock a guy down and then just keep hitting him on the ground. Realistically, if you guys have ever run a ball and chain, you'll know it's going to be a case of dodging around, but that's 5 opportunities to dodge around the same person to go for a straight up hit. Realistically, Kreek is going to be deployed on your line when you're receiving, and you're going to be able to block some guys into a pocket, and Kreek Rustgouger is going to just be able to smack them down. And 5 opportunities without even a rush, 7 opportunities maxing his speed out is absolutely massive. No hands means this guy's never going to be able to pick up the ball, and that's fine too. Prehensile Tail is a really clever and a really good combination skill with ball and chain. Ball and chain guys kicking around, what do you want to do? Either get enough strength to knock him down, and at strength 7 that can be very difficult to do, or dodge away. Prehensile Tail chucking that extra -1 dodge means that those 3+ dodgers are going to struggle. Goblins are going to struggle to dodge away from this guy. And it also means he's really useful if you're up against Snotlings. So if you're playing against Underworld, things like that, where those guys are just used to 2++ dodging away, it does make it more difficult. And you only need them to fail 1 dodge, and that's their turn over. And then Kreek is right back on it again with 5 rolls to smash things in. It is massive. Now, he's also got the secret weapon ability, which means that at the end of this drive, he is potentially going to get sent off. So if you think about it from a standard secret weapon point of view, this guy is like a much, much, much better death roller. Similar price, similar strength, but the ability to take 5 ball and chain blocks is massive. Now, his special ability, I'll be back, is going to massively help you here as well. I'll be back. The first time in a game that Kreek Rustgouger would be sent off as per the secret weapon trait, he's just not sent off and instead may continue as part of the game. So everybody knows, get their secret weapons on. Score quickly, get them sent off, win the game. Not the case with Kreek Rustgouger. They play Kreek. You're going to have to deal with him for at least 1 more drive. That's ignoring bribes. That's ignoring successful argue the calls. Kreek Rustgouger is going to be on there for at least 2 drives. Now, he's ball and chain, so you can knock him down and potentially knock him out for the rest of the game. Sure thing. But the guy's strength 7, and if you are playing well with Kreek Rustgouger, you can box your opponents in and just mighty blow, mighty blow, mighty blow. And when you're taking that many hits with mighty blow, he's basically a giant. And I love giants. So 170k for a 2-play secret weapon. He's kind of 2 ball and chains at speed 5. And I know I'm gushing, but that speed 5 means you've got even more opportunities to hit a guy. Just, if he's got 1 target per block, you're going to hit 2 guys per turn. And that's 2 strength 7 blocks per turn with Mighty Blow. That's huge. I would take that any day, and although Hackflem gives your team the agility advantage by far, Kreek Rustgouger is going to be able to equalise on the blocking front. And in tournaments that are perhaps 1200 or something like that, I can see people running Kreek instead of Hackflem, especially in a Skaven team. And I think that's what's so important about this. When it comes to the Underworld kind of selection of players, the closest thing you've got to a decent bit of bash is Morg at the top tier, and then Glart. Well, now, Glart's not going to be taken. Technically you can, but Kreek Rustgouger is going to do the damage that you want Glart to do in 2 drives. And if you're running Underworld, if you're running Goblins or Snotlings, you're going to get that reduced bribe for some of those teams, which means that this I'll be back ability, it means that it's going to turn 1 bribe into 2 bribes, and you're going to be facing Kreek Rustgouger for a half, for more than a half. And I would love to see a team survive 10, 12 turns with a movement 5, strength 7, ball and chain. Okay, so I've rightly sold you on Kreek Rustgouger and what you can do for your team at 170k for 2 drives at strength 7 with 5 movement. Models wise, okay, so the obvious one is the Forge World model. Now, this guy comes in at £28, and as far as Forge World star players go, he's actually a very good size. Go watch the unboxing video for that. We've got size comparisons for other stuff. If you want Kreek Rustgouger and you're willing to pay Forge World prices, you won't be disappointed. Okay, the style, the delivery is actually there. It is very expensive for a single model though. So definitely one to consider. If you're happy to pay that price and you want the actual model, it's a very cool model and you can do it. I do have a good alternative for you, however. And that is from Grebo Games. It is called Rataclysm the Assembled. So they've got a couple of star players that would fit for this. And this guy here is a Skaven player with a ball and chain. He's got cyborg, cybernetic enhancements. He's a big model as well. And the price cost is not £28, it is €9. So very much more accessible from a cost point of view. Really, all you can do is grab a bunch of Rat Ogres from a box and convert one. That's the really cool thing about Kreek Rustgouger. All he needs to be is a ball and chain. Now, obviously, what you want is some kind of cyborg rat ogre model, but it doesn't matter at all. As long as the guy looks like he's weaving a ball and chain around, you're good to go. In fact, if you still got Fungus the Loon would do just fine. Or Fez Glitch, your old model, okay? Or if you've got one of the Warhammer Disease Skaven with the big ball and chain, like, I can't remember what they're called now, the Clan Pestilence guys. That's good too. Running Kreek, you can convert him to fit your team. If you're running goblins, actually it's a big goblin with mutated. It doesn't matter. It doesn't even need to be big. But strength 7 at movement 5 is going to be so big that if your team is one of those teams that can take him, you need to definitely consider, because it is a very powerful star player. And I personally, as a Skaven coach, am very happy to have him back. Hackflem's amazing. I've already got 4 gutter runners. What I don't have is murder on the pitch. Anyway guys, thanks very much for watching. Let me know what you think to Kreek. Are you going to be running, and in what team? Because you need to get him to the pitch. Just try him. Movement 5, strength 7. It's carnage. Anyway, I'm going to disappear. Have a lovely evening. Have a lovely Halloween. And we'll be back soon with more Blood Bowl content. Happy strength 7, movement 5 blocking. Thanks very much for watching. We really appreciate your support. If you want to help support the channel even further, please like and subscribe, or come join us on our Patreon. We have early access to content. We get loads of feedback from you guys, and we try and do competitions as much as we can. Or you can get yourself some Bonehead podcast merch on our Spreadshirt site. So if you want to support a team, especially for the Bonehead Championship, you can pick up a shirt, a mug, things like that. It all helps support the channel, and we really appreciate it. Anyway, links below. Thank you very much. Happy blocking.